Okay, I'd like to call the July 14th, 2025 Peachtree City Planning Commission meeting to order. If everyone in attendance would please rise and join me in pledging allegiance to the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I'd like to welcome everyone this evening. We have I would say, kind of a short meeting this evening, at least from the Planning Commission side. We have two items, but I'm going to go ahead and start off right at the beginning to staff. Any additions or deletions?
No, sir, not at this time.
Okay. Announcements and reports.
No updates at this time.
Okay. Would we like to introduce our new commissioner at this point?
Yes, that would be great.
Okay, I'll go ahead and take it. As you may or may not be aware, we've had some changes in the Planning Commission. Unfortunately, we had one of our planning commissioners pass away unexpectedly. We had another one due to some health problems, family unable to continue on. And then we had another, unfortunately, due to work constraints and changes, have to resign. So we ended up posting three positions, actually two full-time, as I would say, and one for the alternate. Unfortunately, our alternate is in France on vacation, and Christopher's not able to make it this evening, at least as of this time. So we do have Robert. If you would like to go ahead and introduce yourself, I would appreciate it.
Sure. Am I speaking to the microphone? It's my first night, right? My name is Rob Halverson. I am an architect. I've lived in Peachtree City since '07. Moved down here from New York. I now work for Smallwood, Stewart, Reynolds, Stewart and Stewart. We could just call it Smallwood. So anyway, I'm a principal there. And I decided that it'd probably be a good thing, considering the opening came up. I might as well add my 2 cents if I could be helpful. So for those that understand, which these guys do, but for other folks that may have been applying for the position, I probably could be a little bit more educated about it. So anyway, hopefully I'll be helpful.
Well, welcome aboard. Okay, next we have the approval of the minutes, and that's from the commission meeting on June 9th, 2025. Hopefully everyone's had an opportunity to take a look at those. Any changes to the minutes? Nothing. Okay, with that being said, do we have a motion for approval of the minutes as submitted?
So moved.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the minutes as submitted in a second. Any other comments on the motion? Okay, then by all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, minutes approved as submitted. Thank you. No public hearings this evening. Anything on old agenda items?
No, sir, not at this
Nothing.
time.
Okay, so we're going to go right into the new agenda items. The first is the landscape plan for the industrial building, 1001 MOBA Drive. I'd like to turn it over to staff.
So this property is located on the south, going towards the south end of town in the MOBA industrial complex. The property, it is actually this one big piece. These two parcels were combined into one piece, and we're calling it 1001 MOBA Drive. It is zoned GI, General Industrial. And we have a landscape plan for you to look at tonight. Submitted by South Tree Commercial, based on their impervious surface area, which was 205,997 square feet. The landscape ordinance requires them to provide a minimum of 618 caliper inches of canopy trees and 412 caliper inches of understory trees. Due to the limited planting space on a property, they are proposing all trees to be 4-inch caliper to try to meet their minimum 50% requirement and reduce their tree fund contribution as much as possible. So what they've ended up with is 364 inches of canopy trees, which is about 59% of the total requirement, and then 208 inches of understory trees, which is about 51% of the total requirement. So the Land Development Ordinance, Section 114.5, does permit the tree fund compliance method after all trees that can reasonably be planted on the site have been planted, and staff feels that that requirement has been met. I also want to point out that the existing tree save landscape buffer, which is the 60 feet between the highway and here, so 60 feet, that most of it is occupied by a Georgia Power easement, and so the trees that do exist are pretty sparse. So they are adding to the buffer to help increase that that screen, the buffer screen. The proposal also includes 13 street trees. Those are these orange ones out here. Some Jefferson elms that do not count towards their requirement. They were removed. There were some existing trees there that were removed during construction, and so they are basically replacing those. I'm sorry, those aren't the elms. Those are not all oaks. Sorry about that. And then finally, more than 50% of the tree species specified are native to the eastern United States. Those that are not native are the Marynell holly, which is a hybrid developed from 3 Asian species of hollies, the deodar cedar, which is native to the Himalayas, and the eastern red cedar is its native region is a little bit more north of us in North Carolina, and then west towards the Plains states. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Is the applicant or representative here this evening?
Good evening. My name's Chuck Ogletree with South Tree Commercial, and we're the developer for this project here. And we've been working with staff for several months, even actually before we ever even cleared the site, to work with them on this buffer, trying to leave as much as we could and establish everything we could out there. And since then, we've been going back and forth and working on the landscape plan, and I think the result is it's a fantastic plan. So I'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you have.
Sure, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and open up for questions from the commissioners.
All right.
Commissioner Hamner?
All right. So overall, plan looks good. Wanted to see, though, for native species to Georgia, if you guys would be open to substituting out some of the ones that aren't native right now to Georgia with those that are native.
It's really difficult right now finding trees and being able to dig them. And so I think we've been talking to our landscaper, and I think the trees that we have are available, but it was very difficult finding anything other than what's been proposed on the plans. This time of year, it's extremely difficult to dig trees and then try to transplant them. So we did do a lot of discussion with our landscaper trying to find something that was as native as we could, but we couldn't find everything
Got it.
That's required.
Got it. So, for example, like the Marynell holly, like an American holly, would something like that work? But then that space, it's a similar size to it.
I'd have to find out from him and see if it's
Sure.
available.
Yeah, I think
So
it would be good. I'm really interested.
I'm open to
Yeah.
that if we
Yep.
can find them, but right now, like I said, it's really difficult to
Understood.
find trees.
Yeah, I think it would be good to
Okay.
switch out, if you're open to it, switching out the ones that are not native. Because there are some, again, like the Marynell holly, American holly is overall similar size. It also has berries, can help out with birds, things like that. So there's some additional benefits associated with that. I'm going to mispronounce this, the deodar cedar as well, like something like an eastern white pine could be potentially interesting to put there. If not, a loblolly pine could also be good. Then the eastern red cedar that you guys have right now, I think that's technically native to Georgia. Again, I know staff was saying that, it's not, but it technically is. But at the same time, it is like a plant that's like really overplanted within Georgia right now. Things that you could look at for that could be the southern red cedar, the Carolina hemlock, or the Virginia pine as well on those. So again, those are just suggestions.
Okay.
But if you guys are open to doing that, that would be really helpful.
We'll look into it. We will.
Thank you.
Okay, good. Commissioner Chris?
So this is the pickleball facility, is that correct? Yeah.
That's correct.
So I remember from your site plan that you're pretty built out in terms of what you can put here because of the parking. You had to meet a certain parking level. So it looks like you really tried your best to get as much, caliper inches and trees in here. Is that correct? Would you say you got as much as you possibly kind of could?
It is. It's difficult with that Georgia Power easement because we're not allowed to plant anything underneath it.
Yeah. I mean, I would tend to agree with Commissioner Hamner, if we put a condition maybe on this to work with staff to try to get some native species if you can, if they're sourceable, that would be my preference as well, but I have no further questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Halverson?
I don't have any further questions to add than what the others already did. As much as you can do to work with the staff, that would be great.
Okay.
And I'm going to stay with you if you have any other comments. Nothing else? Commissioner Chris?
No further comments.
Commissioner Hamner?
I'm done, yeah.
Okay, and I don't have anything else. I think overall it's a good design, and I agree with Commissioner Hamner. I know we've really tried to go ahead and use the native species as much as possible, and I understand it's not a good time of year to be doing things, so we may well be very limited in what's available out there. And as always, we would always love to see, and I hate to say not putting money into the tree fund, but we always try to go ahead and I'm glad you took it upon yourself to go ahead and look to upscale right off the bat with caliper size, because that is one of the things, is you're probably well aware that we come back with sometimes to go ahead and take care of that. I know there's some locations in Peachtree City right now that the trees aren't looking too good. So that money can definitely hopefully be applied to some of those areas where we're probably going to have to replace some trees in the very near future. So appreciate it. Okay. Anything else? No? Okay. So do we have a motion from the dais?
All right, motion to approve the landscaping plan for the industrial building at 1001 MOBA Drive with the condition of substituting out non-native plants with native plants in Georgia,
If available. I mean,
If
if we can.
available.
if available.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a motion to approve the landscape plans with an addition to basically work with staff to evaluate substitutions with Georgia native species if available. Do we have a second? So we have a motion to approve with condition and a second. Any other questions or comments? No? Okay. So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the landscape plan for 1001 MOBA Drive is approved with the condition to work with staff to identify possible native Georgia species if available.
Thank
Good.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have the building elevations, the warehouse office, 1601 MOBA Drive.
So we're not moving very far from the lot we just looked at, which was these. Now we're coming over here to 1601 MOBA Drive. Again, in the MOBA Industrial Complex, zoned GI General Industrial. I do have a key plan of the site plan that was approved not terribly long ago by you all. Of course, it's in, we're reviewing the construction plans right now. And here we have the building elevations, which are required to be reviewed and approved by you since they are adjacent to Highway 74. So, let's see, Section 725, the Land Development Ordinance, establishes general goals for architectural design, including high-quality design and architectural innovation, as well as compatibility with the surrounding development and the natural environment. Like most industrial sites, the building is going to be constructed of steel and faced with a combination of brick and metal panels. The ordinance tells us that front facade should be 80% primary materials at a minimum, such as brick or stone, and side facade should be at least 50% primary materials. Technically, this property has 3 frontages on MOBA Drive, MOBA Way, and Highway 74, but this is the road that is, Highway 74 is the road that is considered the major thoroughfare, and therefore the facade of the building that faces Highway 74 is what we're looking at as the front facade and where the 80% primary materials would be required. So the front facade is this one that faces Highway 74, 81%. And then this would be the rear along this side here, where their loading docks are, down here in the back corner. And then these two sides. This side is this one here as you enter the property, and then this side is over here adjacent to their laydown yard. So the materials being proposed are, and this doesn't read very well, but this is a darker colored brick, a lighter colored brick. This is a horizontal metal panel. This blue they're using for an accent color is also a metal panel. And then metal in the rear, this vertical metal, which will have a brick wainscot all the way down here. And then, of course, there's glazing. And just to note, you are not approving the signage this evening. That will require a separate permit. But it is shown for, just a visual effect. I will show you. Oh, by the way, so the sides, just to point that out, this side 87% primary materials, and then the other side 54%. And then we have some renderings. So here's my crazy key plan. View number 1 is up here, sort of looking back at the building this direction. So we're looking at this corner, a little bit down that side and across the, I guess what we're calling the rear of the building at this point. And then number 2 is going to be the opposite corner, looking at this corner and down both sides. Number 3 is looking at the office portion of the building right here on this side. Number 4, this way looking down the back side at an angle. And then number 5 is pretty much a head-on view of the view from Highway 74. Let's see. So the ordinance establishes color requirements as well, which states predominant colors should be neutral or earth tones, as these are. Proposed brick colors are brown and gray with gray metal panels, a blue accent color. And staff is of the opinion the color selection is primarily neutral and blends with the natural surroundings and nearby development. And that is all I have. Staff is of the opinion the proposed elevations for the warehouse and the office building meet the city's ordinances and development standards.
Perfect. Thank you, staff. Is the applicant or applicant representative here this evening? Please come to the microphone. Identify yourself.
I am Paul Gresham, 1103 Ridge Lake Drive here in Peachtree City.
Thank you, Paul. Do you have anything to add to the staff's presentation?
No, I know that Chuck and the team have worked very hard to work with the staff to meet the requirements, so I believe the plans look great. The renderings meet the requirements of the brick percentages, so we feel very strongly about the presentation.
Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start with questions. Commissioner Cruz?
No questions.
Commissioner Halverson?
I have a couple questions. Just because I have an opinion, I'm going to share it with you. So
Right.
traditionally, when certain things should be presented, I know that other groups on the board would say that the renderings just represent the building and it's just a cartoon. But if you're going to submit an entire package, the rendering should be consistent with the elevations. So if we're going to show if you go back a sheet to the elevations, see where the louvers are on the main facade, where the square at the top. None of those are showing up in the renderings, which kind of, there's a reason why they left it out, because it doesn't look that great, which is okay. In general, actually, I'll start right there and make you feel better. In general, I think it looks good. There are some inconsistencies that as you're developing and doing this, little things that bother me are this. So like that elevation and that aren't the same. It's like why? Right? The other thing that I'd make a recommendation for you to actually, the other thing I'll say before I come back to that is the back of the building is actually the nicer facade. This right here is actually pretty well done. This side that faces, this is the west elevation that faces the main street. If I were to make a recommendation, I would say that this as a block theoretically could be taken, you could take that texture and continue it down, but you wouldn't have to add the windows. You could add the same kind of cadence to it, so that, in other words, you could do something like that, and then break this up. I'm not gonna design it for you, but it's just a way to kind of give more articulation to it, and it's still brick, it's all brick. It's just you're doing one plane versus another. Anyway, in general, consistency is important. So when you submit it, just say, is it all the same? And then we have a better idea of what we're actually looking at.
Sure.
But anyway, in general, not a bad building.
And I would say that some of the renderings were produced before the final negotiation with the city. So they
100%.
weren't always updated
Yep.
to the standpoint. So
Gotcha.
I understand your point.
Yep. And this is well, we don't approve lighting, but I was just gonna say, if you're gonna show, if your intent is to show uplighting, just give us a preview, because if you're gonna do renderings, just kind of show us and say it looks great, because I think all buildings look better at night.
Sure.
Just a comment. But, the only other question I had for you is, what are these for?
Sorry, what are you circling there?
The kind of
The lean-to.
exterior, these
Yeah,
guys?
those are functions that relate to the laydown yard,
Okay,
where they have their equipment and they, use their equipment outside. So those support the laydown yard function.
gotcha. So there's no, you don't need a door, you can just use the roll-up door next to it?
Correct.
Gotcha.
Correct.
Okay, that's
They
it.
just need covering. That's right.
Good. Commissioner Hamner?
No questions.
Commissioner Hamner, any other comments?
I always like the work that Jefferson does. This also looks really great. Looks like a really great building, so thank you.
Great, thank you.
Commissioner Cruz?
Can we go one more slide up there? Just out of curiosity, Rob, are you saying that the louvers for the corrugated metal panels should be better shown in these images?
Well, they're not shown at all.
Excuse me.
So,
Yeah. So it's hard to see what it would actually look like in
right.
real life. That's the issue there, huh?
Well, yeah, because it's gonna change. So these things are showing up like here.
Yeah.
Randomly here. So,
It makes it look like brick, but it's not.
correct.
Yeah. Whereas on this image here, you do see a little bit of the louvers, right? Is
no.
this corrugated metal too, or no?
All of that is on that side?
Yeah.
Yeah, so everything here is vertical standing seam-ish, like metal to gray.
Yeah.
So this implies a kind of wood facade, and it's not. But if it were, it'd be even nicer.
Yeah.
right? But no, there are no penetrations in that upper element, so up in here is where you'd see some of that.
I see what you're
Um,
saying. Okay. Yeah, that's great. Appreciate your perspective there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I overall, I think the building looks nice generally. It's nice now to have an architect on the commission, so we get a little bit of his perspective. Would tend to agree that the non-matching, now that I look at it, the non-matching, does it match the height? Does the height match with those two sections in between the two green circles that I circled there on image number 5, or are they different? Because it looks different.
I'm sorry. Yeah, they're different to create a rhythm and a pattern on there, and that's the
Oh.
side that really is blocked by tree. There are a lot of trees on that side too, so there's not a lot of visibility
Yeah.
of that facade, although it's technically the front. There's a whole lot of
Interesting.
screening in between.
Okay.
Got it. Okay, well, I mean, overall, I think the building looks nice. I like the office section the best, but overall, I think for that area and for an industrial complex, I think it looks very nice, so thank you.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just, echo the thoughts of my fellow commissioners, and again, yes, Rob, thank you for the details. We haven't had a architect or an architect on the commission for a while now, so it's nice to have that insight and that expertise, so appreciate that. Any other comments, questions? No? Okay, so do we have a motion from the dais for this?
Move to approve the building elevations for the warehouse and office at 1601 MOBA Drive.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve the elevations 1601 MOBA Drive. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve and a second. Any other comments or questions? No? Okay, so those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, the building elevations for the warehouse office 1601 MOBA Drive is approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't see any workshop items listed. So you're showing it because I was gonna ask anyway, so the next planning commission meeting is July 28th. Anything in particular we should know going into that?
Yes, so there's a few items that, well, one, I'll introduce to you the text amendment that I've kind of mentioned before in our last meeting. There's a text amendment for signs that I would like to introduce to ask for you to initiate that text amendment. In August, kind of skipping a little ahead, there will be more coming to you that has already been initiated, either by you or by council, that will be coming to you. So we'll have a number of text amendments coming our way very soon. So we'll discuss it in more detail on the 28th.
Okay,
And I
perfect.
believe there's another item potentially, Laura?
Excuse me, there are some building elevations that is a modification to an existing building and probably a landscape plan.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good.
And we will have a UDO meeting that day as well.
Okay,
On the 28th?
Yes.
okay. So anything else from the commissioners? No? Okay, with that, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, motion to adjourn in a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.